240.
All right, I just raised her. I think she's ready for the first drive. Ooh, nice tight shifter. Oh my god, this thing's gonna be a dream to drive on Rhode Island roads. The alignment's not terribly. Oh, something's squeaking. Could be the brakes.
I think it's everything. Any cars? And we stalled. Must be nice having power steering. I got my seat's not bolted down. Wait till this thing's fucking mint. Little donut.
You can hear where the exhaust leak is.
Yeah. Coming right from there.
There's people walking. It's about to fall apart. These people are just looking at me.
Oh, that squeak.
I don't know what that is.
It's your suspension, I think. Because every time you hit a bump, it squeaks.
We're 240's driving, baby. Look at this. Yeah. It's my brakes.
At least it
My
rolls
braking
now.
goes away.
Oh my god, it's so bad. This is the driveway I pulled around in yesterday.
Shit's breaking.
You're good on both sides. This person's gonna be like, what is it with shit boxes pulling into my driveway? Don't stall, don't stall, don't stall.
What's that?
Give it some gas coil.
You give it too much gas, it bogs.
You just see a Webster cop behind us.
This whole car's about to fall apart, dude.
We make it to the driveway, all four wheels fall off.
Ordered some little sanding bits to try to start to repair the strut tower a little. It's not terrible, but if I leave it, it's gonna get worse. And I don't want that. First, I like to add it up. Alright, I've got most of the paint to kind of bare metal. I'm gonna weld in a plate underneath this, and then also weld on top of it to reinforce it all. Alright, we've got this plate underneath, tack welded in place, not down there, just up here. I'm gonna bang it up to kind of make it fit as flush as I can, and then I'm gonna weld it in down bottom, weld it in up top, and then we're gonna paint it. Alright, brand new front suspension, tension arm bushings, inner tie rods, and adjustable tension rods. You got the brake pads off, about to take the caliper and stuff is over there, about to take this bracket off, and then gonna start to disassemble the rest of it. This is where we're at right now. We've gotten these tension rod bolts off. That bolt's stuck in the bushing, so I don't know what we're gonna do about that. But I'm like, all right, let's see if we have a socket that fits the hub. put it on there, and it just starts turning. It wasn't even tight. It's just loose. Okay, so as of right now, the only thing that's left in here is the tension rod. That nut's actually off. It's just kind of stuck in the bushing. I'm gonna try to bang it out. Just figured it would be easier if everything else was kind of out of the way. But I just took off the inner and outer tie rod and sway bar end link, lower control arm. All that's out. Tie rod's right here. I'm going to connect the new tie rods and put them at whatever length that this is at, and I'll probably install that soon. We've resorted to burning the bushings out. I've tried hammering it, spraying it, nothing's working. The bolt is like stuck in the bushing. So I'm just watching up here, making sure there's nothing up here that can get burned. And once those are kind of burned out, I'll try to pick them out and then hammer the bolt out. Bushing's still burning, but here's your new P2M inner and outer tie rod. I'm gonna start to thread this in. Looks like it fits, so that's good. Wanna go till it bottoms out. That's pretty good right there. I'm gonna tighten that on there. All right, I'll leave this tie rod kind of loose for now. And then once I have everything else back on, I'll obviously keep that in mind. But I mean, this is so much more stiff. It's actually pre-greased up, but first new suspension component in, or I guess steering if you want to say. But still trying to work on getting this bolt out, because after that's out, I'll install the new tension rods. I also forgot that while I have everything out of here, I want to use some of this bed liner to undercoat the car a little bit. Nothing crazy, just gonna go over it, gonna clean it off kind of. I'm gonna go crazy. If I'm being honest, I didn't even really clean it that well. I just kind of want to see what goes on. I can always do it better later on. Okay. Spray it on the seams. It kind of looks like this has already maybe been done before. I'm just kind of testing it out now to see how it is. Yeah, it works pretty nice. I'm not gonna go crazy with it, but I'll spray most of this inside, make it look nicer. Oh yeah, it already looks a lot better, I'm not gonna lie. At least like just all one color. Yeah, looks good actually. Just a little something to protect it a little more. Obviously most of these cars are rusted out, so yeah, that's cool. I don't really care if it's runny or not. I'm just trying to, you know, clean up some areas and stuff. Look at that. Beautiful. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's just gonna protect what's there, but definitely looks better. Look at this chunk we got. Look at this. This has literally been the longest and hardest part of this whole thing. Everything else has come off pretty smooth. Okay, whole bushing's burnt out. It still won't come out. It's stuck to the inner part of the bearing. So we've switched over to this side. I'm just gonna end up cutting that side out. We're gonna switch over to this side, and I just realized how bad, like the frame rails on this car are really clean, but that's not good. There's a little right there. It's not terrible. The battery tray, obviously, but that is like, that goes into the cab, I think. Okay, gonna start by taking the caliper off. It's a 19, well, two 19s. There's one. Two. Now this caliper should just be able to slide off. Holy shit, look at how not good this is. Is this tightened down? Cause okay, I'm an idiot. I loosened the wrong ones. I loosened the ones that hold the knuckle on. These are a 14. Let's loosen the caliper bolts now. 14, there's two of them. There's one. Other one right here. Real easy to get out. Now it'll come off. Oh, Jesus. And that's why you do these ones first and then the other ones. I did it wrong. Obviously, you're supposed to do the other bolts first, but I messed up. It's all right. Here's a tip, though. Wherever you got your bolts from, just thread them right back in to where they came out of, so that way you know where they go and you're not out there looking for where bolts go. And then, obviously, your brake pads can come out, as well as these little brackets. You're supposed to do all this first, but since they're already in there, they're fine. So now that we got that off, after you take the caliper off, you're supposed to undo the two 18mm bolts at the back of the knuckle. That way, you can remove your rotor. Now that your rotor's off, you can disconnect it from the coilover up here. So for this, you're probably gonna need a wrench on the other side. These are a 17. Just hold that on one side, loosen the other. Just like that. And there's one more bolt at the bottom. Take this out. Put the bolts right back on here so you don't lose them. And actually, what I'm seeing here is that it looks like someone's replaced at least the outer tie rod recently. Oh, that's too bad. We're gonna replace it anyways. Next step is we are going to take off the lower ball joint over here. So in order to do that, you first need to get the cotter pin out. Oh, there we go. Came out a lot easier than the other side. The other side, it was old and rusted. Got that out. Now you can loosen the outer tie rod nut, and I believe it is the 19. Got that off. And now, if it doesn't just pop out of the knuckle, all you have to do is get a hammer, and you can actually just hit on the side of it. You don't really want to hammer down on it like that. You want to, there we go. And that'll free that up. So now you have your outer tie rod disconnected. Final thing to take off is the lower ball joint. This one can be more of a pain. So once again, cotter pin's got to come out. This isn't even bent, actually. There we go. That's our other cotter pin. 22mm. There we go. Now you have the whole hub assembly off. And actually, you should probably do this while it's on the car, but I guess you can do it off. Now we're gonna disassemble the hub. It's going to be a 30mm. At least she was torqued down. Oh, there's our old hub. Now here's one of our new hubs. I mean, look at these ones compared to these ones, which, mind you, are still 5 lug, but they're still technically older. Also, remember to grab this out of the inside and use it on your new hub. All right, we got the new little washer in there. Give this a quick wipe down. The hub conversions on these cars are so easy. You don't even have to do half the stuff I just did to get this out. These hubs are off of 240sxconversions.com. They're pretty cheap. I think I paid like less than $200 for the front pair. Nice and smooth. I think next thing I'm gonna move on to is the front tension rod on this side. Check out what I just found out. This end of the sway bar doesn't even have an end link on it. So I'm wondering if this was causing, yeah, look at, there's a zip tie right there trying to hold it up. But clearly the one over here broke. And actually what else I just saw was right there. It's an aftermarket bushing in the lower control arm, which I actually have new ones for. These are not stock nut. They're 19 on this side for some reason. Look at these. They look like little lug nuts or something. Yeah, those aren't stock, but I guess they'll do. Yep, there we go. Oh yeah, it's already loose. Gotta get some ratcheting wrenches in your life. There's your bolt. Lower control arm out. Keep track of your bolts. Now we're gonna move on to the inner and outer tie rod. Okay, so the first step to getting the tie rod off is you're gonna wanna remove this boot. Mine's already ripped, and I'm gonna buy new ones. Now here's where it gets a little tricky. Not terrible though. What you have to do is get a flathead screwdriver, chisel or something, and there's gonna be, I think there's like 4 of them. I had to do it on the other side. So normally there's tabs that sit along this right here. This little plate back here that's moving right now. They bend off of that and they bend onto here so that this doesn't come loose. You just have to go under it with a screwdriver and bend them up on all 4 corners. Okay, that took way too long, but we finally have it loosened. I had to use a jack against a wrench to break it loose. Hence why the jack's there. Here we are. Inner and outer tie rod. Well, I remember when the guy I bought it from was telling me this didn't have the right bolt in it, but I did not expect this. So where the front tension arm is on the passenger side, this is what was in there. Just this. No nut or anything. So that means, yep, all right. Well, at least this side comes out nice. So now that everything is out of here, I'm probably gonna wait on that side because I need to do something about that before I cover over it. But the rest and like that surface rust, put some bed liner in here and stuff, make it look like the other side a little bit. And then once that's done, I'll start throwing in the new suspension. All right, just a little bit, nothing crazy. I'm gonna throw in the tension rod, brand new tension rod. Then after that, I'll do the new inner tie rod. Tight enough. Boom. Right now, this is actually as far as we can go pretty much because I need the lower control arm, obviously, to mount everything, and those should be coming in within the next few days. So this is what we can do for now. We've got this. Got the same thing besides the tension rod because I have to cut that out, and I don't know where my Sawzall is right now. So this is how we're looking, but this side looks really nice with all the black and stuff. I even painted up here. You're not going to see this because the fender will be sitting over it, but got our new lower control arms in. And I'm probably going to look up the torque specs for all this and torque them down too. Good old Pittsburgh torque wrench. Now, we can take our tension rod bolts. Two. All right, it is now time for the new knuckles. I'm gonna start by getting this off. Our ball joint bolt right on there. Gonna put this crown nut on. Get that one through. Yep, those are both good. All right, now we're gonna move on to the tie rods. Tie rods in, tension rods in, everything's on there. And I was hoping that it didn't rub. Last time I drove it, the steering was rubbing. And I thought it was something to do with the suspension, because watch this. Like, it binds up, and I'm like, what is that? So I put my phone under there to record. And I found out what it is, and it's not as big as an issue as I thought it would be. If you look, it's the steering rack, the U-joint, hitting the headers. And they're already kind of dented in, but obviously it's not working well enough. So I might try to take out the headers eventually and hammer them out until I buy new ones. I'm gonna torque these down. All right, well, looks like the Impact did a better job at doing this. They're supposed to be around 150, and my torque wrench only goes up to 80, but I already torqued them down with this when I put them on, so we're just gonna see if they spin anymore. Rotor's gonna go on first. Should have bought new ones, but I didn't, so we're putting on the old crusty ones for now. There we go. This side's done. Tie rod, caliper, everything's on there. So it's just time to put the wheel back on, and it's the full suspension rebuild pretty much complete. I mean, I just have to actually get a bolt for that, and that's pretty much it.